Hey, Saggies. So let's go ahead and see what is coming up for you guys in the month of May. And I'm so sorry that last month I kind of rushed through your readings. So I'm trying to get them out early this month or for next month. And then I will throw in a little extra for all the signs that got a rushed reading last month, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and see what's coming up for Sagittarius. What's coming up for Sagittarius? And I went ahead and put it in the title, guys, but if you could follow my new page, Lunelix, I would greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure you react to the video, comment, even if it's a little emoji. I would appreciate that. Okay. Ooh, wow. Sag, we already start off with the Lovers. Temperance. Thank you, Patricia. I love you. 5 of Spheres. Okay, Sag. What's coming up for Sag? 8 of Cups. What's coming up for Sag? Justice. Strength. Wow. Guys, out of 6 cards, we have 4 major arcanas already. This feels like a lot of inner growth, really. Aw, thank you, Mama. What's coming up for Sag in the month of May? What's coming up for Sagittarius? King of Cups. Another major arcana, the World. Wow, one more. What's coming up for Sag? One more card, please. 8 of Swords. Okay, let's see what's at the bottom. Queen of Cups. All right. All right. I dig it. I dig it, Sag. So, wow. I'm guessing that you're going to be going through a lot of inner work. Like last month, we had a little bit of a conversation, didn't we, Sag? Or was it the month before? I remember, you know what? I think it was March or February. It was a pretty recent reading that I did for you guys where I kind of was like going in because I remember thinking Sag is going to hate me right now. I was going in on Sag talking about accountability. And I think that you did listen because I am seeing so much growth here in a really good way. So let's start off with the Queen of Cups. To me, this feels like being very in touch with your emotions, being very in tune with your intuition, feeling a lot of self-love, a lot of nurturing, a lot of affection, like really, really being in touch with your feminine energy, stepping into that feminine self, which is wonderful. And it helps with the rest, right? That's why all these major arcanas came out. Look at this. Out of 9 cards, well, 10 if we include this one, right? Half of them are major arcanas. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 major arcanas. So I love that because this is a universe calling you to expand and to really, really step into a shift, a personal shift. I feel like if you've been feeling like there's so many things changing in your life, this is why. Solman Halder. Okay. Well, then tell him to go fuck himself. Okay, so we've got the Lovers card here, which is fantastic. And I think that that's why I was pointing out the feminine energy, because in the reading that I did a few months ago, where I said that, you know, you guys were, I was talking about accountability. You were in a very masculine energy, which is why I'm so excited to see you in this feminine energy. So with the Lovers, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Sag. I don't think this is a person. It could be. We'll see as we clarify. I just don't think it's a person. I think this is you bringing together the different parts of yourself, the masculine and feminine. Because Sag is a very fiery, bold, masculine energy, right? It's ruled by Jupiter, the father of all the gods. So you're always in this very brave, bold, go-getter energy, right? And I really, really love the fact that you're bringing yourself into balance, that you're bringing yourself into this place of connection. This is the Black Tarot, Muddy. I actually had gotten this tarot for shadow work, but then when I interviewed it, it said it wouldn't talk about love. So here we are. But yeah, so this is the Black Tarot. And this is the Temperance card, right? The Temperance card is Sag. This is about blending two different parts of yourself, bringing harmony. Now, again, this could be another person. I'm not reading it that way yet, but we'll see. We'll see. You were born a Taurus. Now stuff has changed and you're a Pisces. What? Oh, no, honey. There's no way. There's no way. Pisces isn't even next to Taurus. So you either had your birth information completely wrong, or maybe when you were little, somebody told you were a Taurus, but there's no way Taurus changed to Pisces. What is that even? How would that even look? I'm curious. Like, who told you were a Taurus and who told you now that you're a Pisces? Okay, so moving on. But yeah, this is definitely a blending of energies. So either you're blending your energy with somebody else, which is a possibility. We'll see when we clarify. But if not, this is more self. Like you're bringing two different parts of yourself together and merging into true, complete union, which would be a big reason why Strength card is here, right? So I think something else that you've been realizing, because I know you want a love reading, and I wanted to give you a love reading, which is why I pulled this deck. But this feels like a lot of personal expansion, honestly. With the Five of Pentacles or Five of Spheres, I feel like you've been going through it, not just financially, because this is financial hardship, right? I feel like you've been going through maybe financial hardship. You've been going through not just that, a feeling of being abandoned, a feeling of being lost. You were born May 7th. Signs are not as they used to be. There's a new sign. Are you talking about the oh fuck us sign? Because that's what I'm going to call it. Oh fuck us is not a sign. Okay. So yeah, moving on. Five of Sphere. This is for that feeling of being abandoned, feeling of being left out in the cold. So you could have ended a connection. Yeah, it's oh fuck us. That's how I pronounce it. You could have just ended a connection that left you feeling really lost for a while, which would, of course, lead to a lot of personal growth. I love how in this deck, with the Eight of Cups, it really shows somebody who's trying to walk away from something, but I don't know if you can tell. Look at the body. It looks like it's like pieces of the body are being pulled back. It's being torn off because this person is trying so hard to move forward that they're even leaning into it. And I feel like there's this incredible energy to be able to step away from whatever it is that they're walking away from. So yeah, it is. It's oh fuck us. So whatever it is that you left behind, it took you a lot of strength to do so. It took a lot of energy, a lot of willpower. And with the Justice card, I do think that there is a strong feeling here of balance. You are acquiring balance. You are stepping into the energy of, okay, now I know where I messed up. I think that there's been a lot of introspection, and you go back and you've been examining this connection. Why was I drawn to this person? Why did I feel so connected to this person? Even though the Hermit isn't here, I am feeling a lot of introspection is what I'm feeling. And of course, this leads to empowerment with the Strength card here, right? It leads to understanding, okay, if I realize that I'm drawn to somebody because they're giving me something that I am not giving myself, then this leads to empowerment because now I have to make sure I give myself this energy. So let's say that you're like, well, this person used to take me to really great places to eat. That's just an example, right? Obviously, I hope you don't date somebody just for that. Taurus moon talking. But let's say that you loved the way this person, would wine and dine you. Strength card is about wining and dining yourself. It's like, why do I have to wait for a certain person to bring this energy into my life? Maybe this person was really good at showing up for you, being there for you, being reliable. Whatever it is that they brought into your life, you're realizing the balance comes from giving that to myself. I don't need to rely on somebody else to give this to me, because that's where codependency lies, right? Which, when you step into the masculine energy of the King of Cups in this deck, I do think that you step into the energy of like, okay, now I have to be really responsible in how I hold other people's hearts. And I'm saying this because with the Justice card here and the Queen of Cups, there might have been moments, and Sag, let's be honest, right? Sag is known for being one of the runners in the wheel of the zodiac. A lot of people who have dated Sag or who have been with Sag have had their heart broken by Sag. And I think that what you're realizing is when it comes back to you and you get your heart broken, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good at all. And so this is karmic as well as it is balance. So with the Queen of Cups, you're like, okay, now I know how to love myself correctly. And that leads me to loving others correctly, knowing when I should give them hope and when I should say, no, you know what, this isn't going to work. I don't want to ghost you, or I don't want to just run away. So I have to be honest about where I'm at right now. There's a mature sense of responsibility when it comes to loving other people. And then we've got the World card and the 8 of Swords, which is interesting, the order they came out in, because the World card is about ending a cycle, which we've seen, right? You walked away from something, you ended it, and I feel like it may come back in, especially because we're at the tip of Mercury retrograde. April 25th, Mercury retrograde begins, or the shadow side, the shadow part of it begins, the pre-shadow. So I think that all of a sudden you'll be like, wait a minute. All this work I did, am I about to regress? Am I about to go back to where I was when I started? And that's honestly the choice right now, Sag. Are you going to grow and learn from your mistakes? Or are you going to say, oh, okay, that was just a temporary separation. Now we can get back together and it's going to be okay. I don't know. That's up to you. Let's go ahead and look into this. Let's clarify. Interesting way the story developed. Not what I expected, but we'll see. Okay. I hate that they get all out of like OCD, like, no, line up. Let's clarify Queen of Cups first. Clarify Queen of Cups for Sag. Clarify Queen of Cups for Sag. Okay, we've got, ooh, Jesus. 5 of Swords, Queen of Swords. Clarify. Wow. Sag. Okay. All right. So, when I said you've been through it, you have been through it, Sag. So with the Queen of Cups here, I think that this is a lot about nurturing yourself. This is a lot about putting yourself back into the energy of, I'm not going to accept this type of treatment anymore. Now, maybe at the beginning, you do step into the energy of, fuck everybody, people are just trash. Like it's going into that cynical, jaded energy, right? Now, it's almost like, oh, my intuition tells me, this is the misuse of intuition. My intuition tells me everybody cheats, everybody lies, everybody is playing, everybody's lying. Like, it's just, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. And that's coming from this place of feeling mentally defeated, right? Feeling like no matter what I do, I always get the short end of the stick. No matter how much I give people, they don't accept it. They don't appreciate it. It's a very... especially paired with this 5 of Spheres, and I'm just being honest, it's a very sorry me energy. A very self-pity, lots of self-pity. because you feel like you were just used and abused and hurt, and you're confused about what you did wrong and you don't know what. It's a very, very sorry me energy. So with the Four of Wands, I think all of this growth is being forced on you because hi, Upasna. Yeah, so this is, I don't even know where to start with that question. This is a general reading, a general love reading for the sign of Sagittarius. If you have Sagittarius as your sun, moon, or rising, or your Sagittarius dominant, then this may apply to you. If it's not, then it probably won't. Okay? All right. So, I lost my train of thought. That this growth has been kind of forced onto you because I think that what you're really lacking is a good foundation, Sag. I think that part of the lesson here is that you build your foundation off of other people. And the universe is like, why are we doing that? Where is your foundation? Why is it that your foundation, this is why you merge. With the Lovers, it's like you merge with somebody else because you're taking on traits, personality pieces, life goals of the other person because you don't have any of your own. And it's kind of like, this is where the universe is like, what are you doing? You are Jupiter. You are Sag. You are goals. Why are you basing yourself off of somebody else? Let's clear the Lovers. I can't talk. Let's clarify the Lovers. Start with the Nine of Cups. Five of Pentacles. There we go. Clarify the Lovers. April 14th, Upasna. That sounds like, hold on. Is that Aries? I think that's Aries. Aries hasn't been done yet. Not for May. So the April reading has been done for Aries. So you can go watch that one. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Hierophant. Okay. So the first message I got when I flipped over and saw the Hierophant Sag is somebody in your childhood, possibly your mother, possibly somebody who you saw as an authority figure, told you that this was all you should want out of life. All you should want out of life is a good man, a good woman to live with. And now that has become a part of your identity. That has become a part of your drive. That's what pushes you. Partnership, love, marriage. But you're not really, and what's interesting because Sag is not a partnership-oriented sign, but you're not really taking the time to get to know yourself. You're not really, when I say get to know yourself, you may say, well, I know what I like to eat. I know what I like to wear. That's not the same thing. Nine of Cups is about what gives you emotional satisfaction. And I'm not talking about partnership. I'm talking about what feeds your soul. And don't say it's your children. What feeds your soul? What activity, what thing does this for you? Painting, singing, traveling, whatever it is, get to know yourself, Sag. Because at the Five of Pentacles, you keep ending up in these connections who don't see value in you, who don't see worth in you. And it's not that it's not there. The Five of Spheres is here twice. The value is always going to be there because you exist, Sag. You don't have to provide anything else. But you don't see that. And if you don't see value in yourself, then other people will not see value in you. So this is almost like this is the perfect image when I'm talking about feeding yourself, because look at that. This flower is wilted. This flower is dying. I feel like this is your heart. This is your soul. How do you feed yourself? What is it that you provide to yourself that gets you so excited about waking up in the morning? And do not make it your children. Do not make it your job. Purpose. What purpose do you have that you feel like this is, if I was taken everything away from me, if my house was taken from me, if my job was taken from me, if my family was taken from me, I would still be full because I would still have this. What would that be? And if you don't have anything, then you better start figuring it out, because your drive is coming from the wrong place. The push forward to be in partnership, it's coming from this place of what you were told in childhood. Society told you this is what you should want. You should want to get married. You should want to have children. You should want to have this. This is what's normal. And so you've accepted this as what you should chase, when in reality, that's not what fulfills you. And therefore, you keep choosing lovers. And then you're like, why am I unhappy? Because you weren't meant, that wasn't the right lover for you. Until you know yourself, you're not going to pick the right lover. Let's clarify the Temperance card. Clarify Temperance card for Sag. We've got the Son of Swords, Ace of Swords, King of Wands. With the Daughter of Swords. It's a lot of swords. So, Temperance card. I feel like you are working towards getting to this place of balance, because two different cards, Temperance and Justice, came out in reference to balance. With the Ace of Swords, there is a lot of clarity coming through, although I think that the clarity that's coming through is still, well, you're in the beginning phases, okay? Let me put it that way. You're in the beginning phases of understanding truths that shaped you, truths that molded you, and truths that turned you into who you are today. But you're still in the beginning phases. You show up as a Daughter of Swords, and over here as the Son of Swords. You're going to have to trust that it's a process. Healing is a process. We have 3 swords here. Healing what you were told, what hurt you, what traumatized you, all these things, abuse you went through. It will take time. And I think with the Father of Wands here, this could be a father figure, Aries, Leo, Sag energy. Because I feel like this is more about inner child work. Clarity that came through while you start healing yourself is like, oh, maybe I'm looking for this authority figure in my partners. Maybe I keep pulling in partners who remind me of my father, of my mother, of my uncle, my grandpa, whoever this authority figure is in your life. It's almost like you realize, I keep pulling in lovers who remind me of this person because I have not cleared the work I have with this person. Let's clarify this 5 of Spheres. Look at that. I saw that 3 of Swords. Wow. Okay. All of your readings related to my... Aw, thank you, boo. I appreciate the confirmation. I appreciate that. So here we go. When you look at your foundation, Sag, because this is foundation, right? 5 of Spheres is prominent. The 5 of Spears is this feeling of not being enough. In the normal tarot, the 5 of Pentacles shows beggars outside of a church. So it's almost like in your childhood, you may have felt like you were begging for attention. You were begging for love. You were begging for affection, warmth, all the things that should naturally come to children or naturally should be given to children. You feel like you may have had to beg for it. And so with the 3 of Swords, this did cause a heartbreak, right? Because children shouldn't have to beg for those things. And with the World card here, there also could have been, this is a Saturn card, and I'm looking at it like Saturn, not as a not as an ending or beginning. I'm looking at it like oppression. You might have had a lot of authoritative, tyrannical, oppressive energies in your life. And so you started associating this with love. You start associating this with, well, this is how people love me. This is how I should love, right? This is love. So you keep pulling in partners that have this energy of coldness, authoritative, hurtful, abusive, withholding of affection or love, because this is what you've interpreted as love. This is what you start understanding that love is. And so you not only give that energy, you also expect it in return. You give it in return. I mean, you give it, you give it and you expect it in return. This is what your foundation is currently, Sag. So let's keep going, because I am feeling, I did see the Death card under there. I am feeling a shift. Let's clarify 8 of Cups. It's your husband. See, I'm telling you. Ace of Cups, the Magician, and the Hanged Man. Okay. With the High Priestess. The more major arcanas. There's so many major arcanas coming out because I feel like you are going through some really intense understanding of yourself. So with the 8 of Cups, I do feel like you're trying to walk away from this. And it's taken supreme effort. Just look at his body stance, right? He's leaning forward and just willing to rip pieces of him apart just to get away from this energy. I do think that with the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups here, this is more about you forgiving yourself. Maybe this is past lives that you've tapped into, or it's your subconscious you've tapped into, but there's a lot of forgiveness. There's a lot of love, possibly being poured into your inner child. And you start realizing how this has everything. Let me put it this way. When we realize that every fucking thought we put out into the universe, every fucking thought is manifesting something, right? Then we're like, oh, I manifest things. Oh, shit. So it's like all of a sudden something clicks. When I talk to myself and I say, I'm worthless, I'm not beautiful, I'm not lovable, I'm not wanted, what are we putting out there? We're putting out there that this is what we deserve. This is the energy that we are expecting because this is what's in our thoughts. And so with the Hanged Man here, I love this. I love this combination of energy because it's like a sudden shift. Like, okay, this is what I've been doing. Well, guess what? This is going to fucking stop because I am in control of my reality. And now I know how I can harness my thoughts. Now I know that with healing, what I'm bringing into my life is going to change, right? What I'm allowing into my life is going to change. Let's clarify the Justice card. Clarify the Justice card. 7 of Swords. Okay, I have to say this because this is also coming into this message is starting to come through. I think for a while you may have been in limbo. That may also be what the Hanged Man is about, because you're in between the stages of healing. So you're aware enough to where you can see red flags in other people, but you're still not at the point where you can put really strong boundaries. So it's almost like you know when something's not right now, but you're still struggling with boundaries. So let's see. Let's look at the rest of the reading because Strength is a very good boundary card. Let's clarify Justice. Clarify Justice for Sag. 2 of Swords. Mother of Pentacles and the High Priestess with the 4 of Cups. So yeah, I'm still feeling this energy similar to that of things coming in and you're like, no, I don't want that. I know it's not good for me. You don't know how to move past that yet, but you also know what you don't want. Now you're not really sure what you do want, but you're very clear about what you don't want. So with the Justice card, there is a strong feeling of you realize that you have been sabotaging yourself. Like sometimes we think, oh, I love me, I'm really good to me, and we realize, wow, no, I'm part of what has been keeping me in a cycle of abuse. I am part of what has been keeping me in this place of not growing. And maybe in the past we were in denial about that, right? If anybody in the past told us, you're doing this to yourself, we're like, no, the fuck I'm not. Why would I hurt myself, stupid? And then with this, you're like, okay, maybe I am hurting myself. Maybe I am a part of this. And that needs to stop. So I love that the Mother of Pentacles is here, especially when we had the Mother or the Queen of Cups up here, because this is about nurturing of self. You see how she has her little fawn there. This is very, like, you start nurturing your inner child. You start speaking to yourself with kindness. You start, soothing yourself, learning to appreciate yourself, learning to love yourself, learning to forgive yourself. And this is coming from a place of your higher self stepping in and guiding you along the way. So I love that. Love that, love that, love that, Sag. Let's look at the Strength card. And I'm sorry, this was supposed to be a love reading, but this is very important for love because you start realizing where your patterns come from for what type of partners you're pulling in, okay? So this will lead to love. Just trust it on that. Clarify Strength card for Sag. I've got the Emperor, the Sun. Ooh, I already like the messages coming out. King of Swords. Wow, look at that. Nine of Swords. Okay, so here's the message that I started getting when these cards started coming out. Something else that you're going to start realizing, Sag, is that what these people over here in your childhood showed you, that's not actual strength. That may look like strength, but it's not, because it's all about domination. It's all about rules and authority, and you have to listen to me because I'm the authority in this house, and if not, I'm going to spank you, or I'm going to abuse you, or I'm going to do something that teaches you a lesson, right? And so for a long time, you accepted that as stability. You accepted that as structure. And now you're in this place of like, oh, now I know what actual strength is. These two cards represent Leo energy. Sun card, Strength card. But Leo energy at its highest vibration, at its highest octave, is about love because it rules the heart. It's the sun, it's life. It's about true strength comes from vulnerability. True strength comes from softness, comes from being approachable, comes from giving to other people. It doesn't come from being a hard ass. It doesn't come from, trying to destroy. It comes from trying to build. And so now you're in this place of like, oh my God, I just realized so many things. And I will tell you this. With the Nine of Swords here, you may go through a little phase where when everything starts clicking, how it's all tied together. I do think that you may start blaming yourself a lot. With the Nine of Swords, you'll start feeling a lot of guilt. You'll start feeling a lot of regret. A lot of, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Why did I allow this? And so I really feel like you're going to be really hard on yourself when things start clicking. I would suggest you not do that. That's not going to help you. I mean, it's great. It's great to take accountability. It's great to want to work on yourself. But if it's putting you in a state of anxiety and it's putting you in a state of, emotionally abusing yourself, well, that's not healthy either. There's a balance, right? Accountability doesn't need to lead to you not feeling good about yourself either, right? Accountability should lead to you respecting yourself and being like, okay, now that I know this, how can I stop? Now that I'm aware of this, where should I put boundaries? And, little by little, that leads to self-respect. That leads to self-love. That leads to value, personal value. Let's clarify the King of Cups. Clarify King of Cups. Ooh, okay. Well. And Three of Wands. So, Sag, I do feel like this is very much where a lot of the responsibility comes in, because in this deck, this is what that represents, right? A sense of responsibility for the emotions that we hold for other people and for ourselves. I do think that you're like, oh boy, that's where a lot of the stress and anxiety comes from, where you start realizing how you've hurt other people, how you've perhaps not been reliable or in and out of other people's lives. And just like some people hurt you, you hurt others. Could have been in the past, could have been in your youth, could be more recent. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, 3 of Wands in love is about keeping our options open. Perhaps you start realizing that when you start dating, you usually keep your options open, or you do things that without realizing you are hurting the other person, because when they find out, they're like, oh, okay. And maybe you're in a whole relationship and you do this type of thing. I'm glad I'm on point. So I do think that that's where a lot of that anxiety is going to come from, where you realize what you've been doing and you start holding yourself accountable, which is good, right? It is good to hold yourself accountable. Let's clarify the World card. Okay. 4 of Wands, clarify the World card for Sag. Clarify the World card. 8 of Cups. 10 of Wands. Aw, look at that. The Star card. I love that. There is so much healing going on for you right now, Sag. With the World card, this is about stepping away from patterns that you used to hold. Stepping away from what you used to interpret as love. Reinterpreting your idea of love or your definition of love. So with the 4 of Wands, that's addressing your foundation, right? Addressing what is it that I have built my entire identity, my entire self off of, and walking away from what does not serve you. Because if there's something you've realized, is that everything that you used to do, everything that you used to know, everything that you used to interpret as love, it's empty. I mean, it keeps leaving you heartbroken over and over and over, because it's turned into a vicious cycle, and it's gotten really fucking heavy and you're sick and tired of it. So how do we address that? How do we leave that behind? We stop. We start working on ourselves, and we start realizing this is not healthy for me. I don't want this. This is not what I want in love. I want to be appreciated. I want to be adored. I want to be treated well. But that comes with healing, because then when we realize that this is what we're worth, we stop accepting less than. We stop accepting cold, abusive, hurtful behavior from ourselves and from other people. So this is like, I don't want to be this way, and I don't want to accept this from any other people. Let's look at the 8 of Swords. Clarify 8 of Swords. We've got the Devil. Wow, the Devil. Okay. Clarify 8 of Swords. We've got the Son of Pentacles. And I'm only going to get the one that's at the top, because that's a lot of cards. And then there's the Strength card again. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Yes, I love that Star card too. Sag, there are some things that you are really going to struggle letting go of. Look at that. Look at the way she looks like she's really tied and bound to that, it's like a trunk of a tree or something. And it's almost like her face is turned away from the artist. Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. When in reality, she's the one holding the rope, right? This is something she can easily let go of if she chooses to. And it turns into a devil sort of energy for her. It turns into something toxic, because Sag, I really see you putting in the work. I really see you trying. However, there are going to be things that it's going to take you some time, because this is stubbornness. This is an energy of stubbornness, and this is an energy of like, I will die on this hill. And you're battling with yourself, really, because your new healthy self is saying this isn't good, but the old self is like, oh, but it feels so good. So maybe it's about hookups, because it's something that you feel you need. This could be about alcohol, addictions, smoking. This could be some sort of indulgence, because that's what the devil is, right? It's something that we're like, oh, that's not bad though, because that's not that's not something that I'm doing to other people. This is something I'm doing to myself. Yeah, but that's still, it still is not beneficial for you. And it's going to apply differently. So I don't want to specify exactly what it'll be for you, but it's something that you're like, no, I need this and I'm going to be stubborn about it. And I'm not, yes, denial. It's denial. Or it's not so much denial, because honestly, I don't really see it as denial in the sense that it's not like you're blind to it. You know better. But the devil energy is like, you would rather accept that it's not good for you than let it go. That's where the devil energy comes in, because you're aware of what it's doing to you, whatever this is. And you're like, but it's so strong. The devil's here. The strength card is here. I can't leave it. You're stubborn. Whatever it is, only you will know. But this is going to hold back the rest of the healing. So be careful with that. Okay. Sag, this was not really a love reading. But I do hope that you step into a place of healing, and let me know how this resonated with you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here. Love you guys. And I will see y'all later. Bye.